When did endurance sports become this? When did it stop being about showing up, getting better, and loving the process, and start being about bigger, better, more extreme all the time? Because lately, when I open social media, it seems like a marathon is not enough anymore. Finishing an Ironman isn't enough. It only seems to count if it's the most extreme version possible. And don't get me wrong, I love a challenge. I love doing hard things. But today I want to talk about why endurance sport online has become this extreme, who that version of the sport actually serves, and why, if you live a real life with a job, a family, limits, you're not the problem. This isn't a rant, it's a reality check. And please, always take this with a pinch of salt, because we like salty and we don't like to take everything too serious over here. Endurance sport didn't suddenly change. The internet changed how it is presented. Social media rewards extremes. The algorithm doesn't care if something is meaningful. It cares if it is impressive. A steady training block doesn't stop the scroll. A normal race finish doesn't either. But something bigger, faster, louder, more shocking, that gets attention. So slowly, without anyone really deciding it, the bar kept moving up. A marathon used to be a huge deal. An Ironman was something people trained for years. Now it feels like these things only count if they're followed by a but. I ran a marathon, but it was back to back. I did an Ironman, but it was my first triathlon ever. I finished one, but next year I'm gonna finish 5. And I get it. Pushing limits is part of why we love this sport. But here's the problem. When everything has to be extreme, nothing ever feels like enough. This version of endurance sports works really well if you are young, childless, location flexible, and financially free enough to structure your whole life around training and racing. But that's not most people. I work full-time. I have a kid. I'm bound to school holidays. I cannot travel constantly, and I definitely cannot plan my life around last-minute race schedules. That doesn't make me less committed. It just makes me normal. There's another layer we don't really talk about too much. Most everyday athletes spend years entering race lotteries, applying, waiting, getting rejected. And at the same time, some influencers are invited, given entries fast-tracked. I understand why this happens. Visibility helps races. It's business. But let's also be honest about how it feels. When you have been training quietly for years and access is handed out by reach, not time in the sport, it can mess with your sense of belonging. And then there's the gear. New season, new colorways, new must-have upgrade. I love good equipment. Gear can be so much fun, but at some point the message shifts. It stops being, this helps you enjoy the sport, and starts sounding like, if you don't keep up, you're falling behind. And endurance sport was never meant to feel like that. So here's the question I keep coming back to. Does it really have to be extreme to be meaningful? Or did social media convince us that ordinary hard things aren't impressive anymore? Most endurance athletes aren't chasing extremes. They're chasing consistency, confidence, a version of themselves that feels strong and capable. They train before work, after bedtime, between responsibilities. And that effort, that commitment, that counts. If you train around your life instead of escaping it, you are not doing endurance sports wrong. If your goals look smaller online but feel huge in your body, they matter. You don't need to prove anything to an algorithm. If your training happens before work, after your kids are asleep, or squeezed into the margins of a busy life, you are not failing at this sport. You are mastering it. Because endurance isn't about how extreme your challenges look online. It's about how consistently you show up, even when life makes it inconvenient. And if nobody's filming it, if it never trends, if it never looks impressive to strangers, it still counts. And honestly, it might count the most. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.